Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw.
And I'm Sean Liang.
And Sean, do you like stories about Bigfoot?
I mostly like stories about trees and swamps.
Oh, fuck. Well, today we're going to be talking about The Legend of Boggy Creek from 1972, directed by Charles B. Pierce. Before we talk about the movie about Bigfoot, Sean, anything you've been watching this week?
I haven't really been watching a lot. I've kept myself busy, but I did watch, I watched the new episode of The Walking Dead, and I actually, the other night I played this board game that I just got called Dead of Winter, and it's like playing in The Walking Dead, so that's pretty cool. But other than that, I haven't really been watching too much. What about you?
Been enjoying The Walking Dead, because apparently I think you're still the only one who watches it. Burn!
Okay, well, that's fair. That's fine. I'll keep watching it.
Again, it's one of those shows where I watched the first season. I could never really get past that.
I have friends who have the same exact response. So I get it. It's not for everyone. It seems to be for my straight male friends. They just don't seem to be interested. But I get that,
Wait, your straight male friends aren't interested in The Walking Dead?
Yeah, it's mostly my girl.
Are you drawing a correlation that it's a gay man show?
Not necessarily.
Whoa, now what is going on?
I don't know. I think it's it's like a soap opera with zombies. I think women are into that.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. The reason I couldn't get into it is I don't know. It was just one of those shows that never struck a chord with me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Honestly, I said the same thing happened to me with Breaking Bad. I watched the first 2 seasons. And I want to finish watching it, but I'm just not hooked like everyone else. So I get it. There's differences. But I do believe you can tell what kind of person you are by what shows you're hooked by.
Yeah, the last show that I was really hooked by was Hannibal.
Really? I actually haven't seen that. I should watch that.
It's some good stuff.
Yeah, I believe that.
It was some good stuff, man. Hannibal # best show ever canceled. Just kidding. I'll probably get some flack for that. What have I been watching? What have I been watching? I haven't been watching a whole lot of anything, really. I'm trying to finish up How I Met Your Mother. That's really kind of it.
Yeah.
And that show's okay, but
someone totally spoiled the end of that show for me. Was it when I was at dinner with you, I think?
Yeah.
I totally didn't know that detail. Oh, that's funny.
I mean, it's still a good show.
Yeah, totally.
Within reason. I think it does. It deserves some of the flack that it's gotten over the years.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of flack because the show kind of trails on for a long time. So I mean, I'm on like season 8 now.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I feel like there's only like a couple characters that really go through any sort of growth as characters.
Yeah, it seemed to me like it was a lot of the same, which, I get that. I get how that, is popular.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's talk about The Legend of Boggy Creek, shall we?
Oh, let's do that.
God. It came out in 1972. Like I said, it was directed by Charles B. Pierce, written by Earl E. Smith. It is a documentary-style drama about the Fouke Monster, a Bigfoot-type creature that has been sighted in and around Fouke, Arkansas, since the 1950s.
Here in this primitive river-bottom wilderness in southern Arkansas, along with deer, duck, crane, and beaver, lurks a creature that walks upright. Whether it is a man, a monster, or a myth, no one really knows. What we do know is the people around Fouke, Arkansas say they have seen such a creature nearly 250 times since 1954. And that this creature, whatever it is, emits one of the most terrifying sounds ever recorded.
Sean.
Yes.
You've seen this.
Okay, actually...
Sort of. Sort of.
So that's actually, a great, way to explain how I feel about this movie. I actually found this movie in, like, a $5 Walmart bin in high school, and I've owned it on DVD, and I've tried to watch this movie many times, and every time I watched it, I just couldn't get through it, or I literally, even when we watched it for the podcast, I fell asleep twice. So... that's just that's my experience before watching it this time.
Boy, I like Bigfoot, and I'm into the whole occult, Bigfoot, aliens. I'm into all of that stuff.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, and I was super excited about this movie and getting a chance to watch it because it's a mockumentary. It's from 1972. It's got the style and the feel of a movie that I would enjoy.
Right.
And then going into this movie, again, high expectations, and when I was done watching it, holy cow.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No.
But the fact that it's about Bigfoot is almost incidental at best.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, right? It's kind of like, let's make this movie and have Bigfoot and then have these weird, like, song. Oh, don't we?
The song stop. I can't. Okay, I'm sorry.
We'll talk about that. It's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
At all.
Because, okay, so when I did finally stay awake through the whole, because it starts off interesting.
Which should say something about this film.
It does. It says actually everything because it starts off with this, like, everything I want out of it. It's like kind of campy, old. It kind of feels like a lost treasure at first, It starts off with this dramatic, like, dramatization of a kid running, through a field to get help. And then the rest of the movie, it doesn't know where it is tonal because then half of it is a love letter to this weird little town in Texarkana. You know what I mean? It's so weird because it's kind of creepy, but then it's like these weird songs that are like full of like a 3-minute montage of literally trees and swamp.
Yeah, that is my real problem with this movie. Is it doesn't do anything really in what I was expecting from a film that's about Bigfoot. It's more about, like, look at this crazy town in Arkansas. Isn't it crazy? Aren't these people maybe insane? Maybe not. We can't really tell.
Right.
It's not about Bigfoot. And maybe that's part of the Bigfoot thing, is the whole, like, people involved with the Bigfoot experience.
Right.
And I've watched a lot of those Bigfoot things that they have on Animal Channel and Discovery, and it's something that really piques my interest. And when I watched this, I was really hoping to have kind of this experience of, treading the line between reality and fiction. And this movie doesn't really care about telling anything about the Bigfoot experience or seeing Bigfoot or how Bigfoot affects this small town. It's more about, hey, isn't this weird? Like, these people saw Bigfoot, and then It's almost like they tried to do Jaws with Bigfoot and failed with it horribly.
Yeah, they got distracted or something. Like, it's weird. It's like, I grew up, it's funny because I grew up obsessed with cryptozoology. I have like books upon books. I'm obsessed with like Bigfoot, and you kind of have like, when you have heard the stories, you have like this idea of like this mystique that even like if you look at the poster, it creates that. It's like really creepy looking, but you get into this documentary that is dramatized. It's not supposed to be, which means it should be, to me, it should amp up that tone. You know what I mean? It's like, but it just is so distracted. It goes off into several places, and it's just so sleepy.
Yeah, and I can tell that a lot of movies that have come out in the last 20 years have taken some, inspiration from this movie. I mean, the Blair Witch Project. It echoes the documentary style of this film.
Oh, yeah.
They say that. The director of Blair Witch Project, Dan Myrick, said that in an interview that this movie was one of their inspirations.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and, Charles B. Pierce's other film, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, is a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
I love that movie. It's really great. It's a film that I really enjoy, and it's similar in style to this movie. If you watch it, it's kind of that pseudo documentary, fourth wall breaking voiceover thing that's going on. It's set in Texarkana, yep, as opposed to Fouke, Arkansas.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think the intentions with this movie were good, but I don't know where Charles B. Pierce went wrong, because of how much I enjoy The Town That Dreaded Sundown. And obviously this film came out, before The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Right. This film came out 4 years before The Town That Dreaded Sundown did. So, I don't know where he went wrong, but I feel like, it is a cheaply made film, which could have worked in the film's advantage.
Absolutely.
It really could have.
I mean, I feel like it did. The fact that it's still popping up on like Amazon, you know what I mean? It's like the one thing that I find impressive about this movie is how it still lasts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, I think it does have a certain intangible draw for some people. But for me, having watched as much Bigfoot stuff, and like you said, you're as kind of wrapped up in the cryptozoology thing.
Oh yeah, love the
phenomena. Yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenon, right?
Absolutely.
The cryptozoology phenomena, like I am. A movie like this isn't really. It's not new ground,
right?
It's kind of retreading stuff that we've seen done way better recently. I mean, what's the name? There's a show that does the found footage on Animal
Yeah, I think
Planet.
it's called like Lost Tapes or something. Like
and it's essentially this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But more
dramatic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, to me, it's like he had a good idea, but it builds up to this true story, right? So this movie, I mean, it's made up with like an anthology of true accounts, but when you use true accounts, it's not always the most interesting for a dramatized documentary. But so it builds up to like this big moment where this guy was thrown into his cabin by some beast, apparently. And that's the big climax of this movie. And even that is kind of, it's just like, the setup is great. He didn't know how to put this idea into that. I don't know.
Well, and let's be honest here, like we've said, talking about these other shows like Lost Tapes and other movies, Blair Witch, I don't know, and maybe this is the case. This was we could look at this as a progenitor for those, which, it kind of is. It piqued the national interest in Bigfoot. Obviously being a Bigfoot nerd like I am, and really into the cryptozoology, 5 years prior to this film coming out was when the Patterson-Gimlin film was shot. The extremely famous Bigfoot footage that everybody and their mother knows, the Bigfoot looking at the camera sideways with his arms out, that was shot in Del Norte County in California. So that kind of sparked the public interest in Bigfoot, and then Charles Pierce kind of jumping on that bandwagon with this film. it's a pretty novel concept for the time.
And that's awesome because you do see that influence. We see we're afraid of the woods again, and we see a lot of things come. Yeah, I see what your point. There's a lot of things coming out of the woods again in these movies that we.
Yeah, and the Fouke Monster, it's an actual cryptid. In Fouke in Arkansas in the early 1970s. I mean, it was there.
Yeah.
It was a reported thing that people were seeing. So he was essentially just making a mockumentary. I wouldn't even call this a mockumentary, really. This almost feels like a documentary.
Yeah, it is really. If it weren't for the reenactments,
if it weren't for the reenactments, it's really just a documentary.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe what hurts the movie to an extent. You know what I mean?
Is that it doesn't really.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
It doesn't deliver on what it was advertised.
Exactly. Because you and I were both as intrigued, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Bigfoot. Where do you draw the line on what you believe in regards to Bigfoot?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I've gone through.
And have you ever seen Bigfoot?
I've never seen Bigfoot. I've seen weird things though, because literally, I grew up fearing the El Chupacabra. That was my biggest fear growing up. It was so weird because I saw it on Animal Planet once. And ever since I saw that image, I literally have never been so afraid that my breath was. I saw the image, they showed it, and it's you can Google it, and it's the most terrifying image for me as a kid. When I saw it, it looked so real that I couldn't breathe. I was so scared, and to imagine that this could be real and out there, and that sparked my interest. And ever since then, I've had I have this. My favorite book is called The North American Field Guide, or the Field Guide to North American Monsters. And, there's a wide range of things that I believe in. I believe that maybe there could be a creature that we haven't really discovered. Do I think it's Bigfoot? I not necessarily. But I definitely believe the idea of cryptozoology. I mean, we find new species all the time.
It's true. And, I don't think it's really, one of those unbelievable things that everybody acts like, if there wasn't Bigfoot, how come we haven't found them already? And it's the coelacanth wasn't, discovered until 20 years ago?
Yeah.
And while, granted, why haven't we found a Bigfoot skeleton? It is the woods, and it always seems to be, Bigfoot sightings are always in these places that are heavily wooded.
Yeah.
So, again, take that into consideration. And some people have said, the Patterson-Gimlin film was staged. And people have come forward saying, it was me who staged it. And other people have said, well, no, it's not staged. And I've seen multiple shows about trying to prove the Patterson-Gimlin film on its own. Yeah. I believe in Bigfoot. I'm not ashamed to say it. I know that some people are believe in Bigfoot, aliens. I don't really care. Is it really any different than believing in a lot of other stuff that people believe in? Not really. Okay.
It's as logical as anything else.
Yeah, it's I think Bigfoot is something that for me it's always intrigued me. And also, knowing someone who has quote unquote seen Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I won't say who. But someone that I know very, that is very near and dear to my heart, always tells a story about how they saw Bigfoot when they were a kid. So they were traveling with their family through Northern California, which, Northern California.
That's where the redwoods live.
Yeah. And their car broke down as it would do from time to time. And they had to wait to get their car towed. And their car had essentially broken down on the highway in the middle of the forest. It wasn't like a dirt road or anything. But it broke down on the side of the highway in the middle of the forest. And so this, they were walking around outside of the car, just waiting, trying to kill time until the tow truck showed up. And they were walking down the side of the highway, and they saw what appeared to be an ape's head.
Ooh.
On the side of the highway. An ape head on the side of the highway. And I've given this person, because of their relation to me, I've given this person a hard time about it. And, probably because I'm super jealous of the fact that they've gotten to see what could have been Bigfoot. But they said, they've told me multiple times, straight face, that they picked up this disembodied Bigfoot head, this decapitated Bigfoot head, a gorilla head is what they've said. They've never said Bigfoot. But you know what I mean? Yeah. Is it so hard to believe? So it's one of those things that's near and dear to me, and I really think, I don't know if I believe that Bigfoot is roaming the woods now, but I don't think it's that hard to believe that that's a thing.
Yeah, I was always I think what scared me the most about this, and I'm a huge fan of horror, but nothing has ever scared me or fascinated me more than the idea of creatures that we don't know about existing and it being in the woods. And that's part of what makes this so interesting, is that it comes from our true fears of the unknown in the woods, and it makes our surroundings a little bit more scary, and it makes us aware of our surroundings a little bit more. I think that's what I loved about this.
Yeah, Bigfoot is one of those things that's, people go camping. The tangibility of it is much higher than, say, aliens.
Exactly.
Or the Loch Ness Monster, or even the Chupacabra. I mean, the Chupacabra is very centric to one area of the world.
Yeah.
But, Bigfoot is kind of, there have been Bigfoot sightings in a lot of the states in this country.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say most states have had some form of Bigfoot sighting, in the state.
Yeah, and I mean, Bigfoot sightings go across the world.
Yeah. At BFRO.net, they actually have a sighting report that you can click on a state and see if there's been a sighting in that state. I'm curious. I want your guess. What state in the country, in the continental United States, not Alaska, what state has the most Bigfoot sightings? By an overwhelming majority, over 200 more than any other state.
Most?
Yeah.
I want to say it would be California because of the redwoods, but I feel like there's also a lot in the southeast. Shoot, I don't know. Let me think. I don't know. I'm going to say North America. I mean, Northern California.
Washington.
Oh.
So you're close.
Okay, that makes sense.
620 reported sightings.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. With a sighting reported as recently as 2016 March.
Wow, this month. It's been 10 days. Wow.
It's insane, right?
Wow.
So, it's a thing that's still in the public mind.
Absolutely.
The Patterson-Gimlin footage, this film, it's kind of all feeds off of one another. And I think that, the stylistic choices by Charles B. Pierce aside, I think this movie could have really been successful, and it still is kind of this underground cult.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's from 1972, and it was released on DVD less than 5 years ago. It was released on DVD in 2012.
Wow.
Or in 2011, so...
Man. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because there is so much. I mean, Bigfoot, especially around especially around this time, had such a stigma. I mean, people knew what that was, and there was such an aura around it and the imagery that he gets is creepy as hell. But it's just there's so many elements going against it in the long run that it doesn't last. It just doesn't, because it does obtain it sustains this relatively creepy. The stories are great, but they're just not. There's never this peak moment. It's never.
No, I mean, it really doesn't have much to offer. Like, you could go and watch any one of those, monster quests about Bigfoot or any of the Discovery Channel or History Channel or Animal Planet, any of those shows, and it would pretty much be the same thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would probably even be a little bit better.
Oh, sure. I believe that. But just those, if you take out the music.
Which, let's talk about that. The music is like folk tunes about Bigfoot played on a ukulele, which is upsetting. It's not good.
It sounds almost like a weird Christmas song to me. I don't know. It's so weird.
And he sits in the trees, and it's like it is so fucking strange.
It is. It's like, and I love folk music and like bluegrass even. I love that kind of music, but this is creep. It's just weird.
It's just one of those things where like you sit and you're listening to it and you're just like, what the hell is going on?
What is he saying?
I was half expecting this to be like, and someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. That's the quality of it, is like, it almost sounds like a Muppet song in a movie where it's trying to be serious.
It's just rambling. It's
He lives in the swamps and he looks for. It's like, what is going on?
It's literally songs about the swamps
and Bigfoot hiding in the swamps.
Oh my gosh,
it's strange,
and it just doesn't it's just got the wrong tone. Like, it just feels weird. It totally brightens the mood, and then so it doesn't make it feel like a horror movie. And it's on IMDb as a drama horror mystery.
Yeah,
it's.
I had high hopes.
I know,
and maybe that's the worst thing about this. Is it's the third movie ever made about Bigfoot. The Geek, which is a Bigfoot pornographic film. I'm not making this up. And Bigfoot from 1970 came before The Legend of Boggy Creek. So, it's the third Bigfoot movie ever made. So, that should give you all you need to know about where this movie stands in kind of the world of Bigfoot and the effect that it had on, and the effect that it has on kind of pop culture.
Yeah.
But I think what came out of this movie is much better than the movie itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it inspired the right kind of thinking. And I think it did that with, like I said, the imagery and the idea had so much power in it. But it just didn't carry through this movie. It wasn't enough to to make this work.
It wasn't. And the performances are just...
Oh, my God. And he got apparently high school students to all the acting. They got a bunch of high school kids in his.
Nothing is surprising.
Yeah, it's just so bad. Yeah. It's charming almost, but it's just not charming enough.
Yeah. Well, I think we can both agree that there aren't really any good performances in this film.
No.
So, with that being said, skip it or watch it.
I say skip it. I think that you can get more out of looking at the poster than you can watching the whole movie.
Jesus. Right for the fucking jugular, man.
I'm sorry.
I agree with you. It's not great. It's pretty lackluster at best. What it did for pop culture and how it affected future films is way better than anything the movie does. Really go watch any of the Monster Quest episodes about Bigfoot or like you said, Lost Tapes. That's essentially what this is, but made in the last 5 years with better production value and a more coherent story. Exactly. And lacking the weird swamp tunes. The film has no Rotten Tomato meter score.
Really?
None. It has one review, and the one review says a campy little fun-loving cult classic thriller. Okay.
That was.
What do you think the audience score is?
Oh man, it's got to be low. I'm gonna say 47.
48.
Oh, stop! Wow, I was good.
Out of 1,400 reviews.
Yeah, I'm actually super impressed that I got that close. But I can't believe people got through it that much. I really don't believe that many people got through this movie.
Well, it must have a little bit of a cult following.
Yeah,
but again,
yeah.
It's just not great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, again, having such high hopes probably didn't help.
Yeah, that's true. I did too. Even when I bought this movie without knowing what it was about. So.
Right. Before I talk about next Monday's Kulturecast, Sean, anything you want to plug or talk about?
Nothing new today. I'll say you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Seanifer, and on Facebook, I'm Sean Liang.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Kulturestash. And if you like what you're listening to now, we have 100 episodes over at cultureshock.com/Kulturecast. And give us a favorable review on iTunes. Helps other movie lovers find our podcast. We're also on Stitcher Radio. Next Monday, we're going to be talking about Incident at Loch Ness. Another cryptozoology film. Just kidding. Sort of, but not really. It's much better than this movie and way more complicated. And then on Thursday, we're going to be talking about Spinal Tap, which is just absolute classic. Yeah, so make sure to check those out.